Hey, what's everyone? So today I'm going to be taking a look at the Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origin Bumblebee. So here he is with all of his accessories, his jetpack on his back, and his gun, and those Energon Rods. Let's take a look at the box first, then we'll take a look at the details and the articulation and everything. So I think the packaging looks really cool. We have a bunch of images of Bumblebee here. I think that looks really cool, of course. I did do an unboxing video a while back, and you know my problem. I really don't like how there's no plastic there. Yes, it is good that there's no plastic. It's better for the environment. Just, you can go right in and just touch, if the figure was in there on the shelf, you could just touch it and someone could steal it, which is, I would say in my opinion, a really big problem. But getting that all aside, I think the packaging does look really nice. Another image of Bumblebee there. On the back, he transforms into 23 steps. Of course, you can see all the accessories there, images of both modes, and I think that's pretty much it for the packaging and stuff. So let's get right into the details of the figure himself. So now that we have Origin Bumblebee off the stand, let's take a look at the details, accessories, and articulation. So here he is, and I think he looks really nice. Really nice yellow on for the base color of the figure. Nice Autobot symbol there, painted nice red. We have some blue for the windows, which do look really nice. The head sculpt looks pretty good. We have some dark blue for the eyes, some silver for the face, and of course that nice bright yellow. We have some black for the pistol, which looks quite nice. Of course it is capable of housing a blaster piece, which is pretty cool. We do have black for the hands, some yellow for the arms, and some more black for the shoulders. For the crotch, just all yellow, some more black for the top of the leg. For this section here, for the feet, really just yellow and a little bit of black. And we do have some kibble on the sides, but that's not too bad. On the back, we do have some detailing there, which is quite nice. This will come into play later for, of course, the UFO or spaceship mode. But overall, nice details for the robot mode. Let's get into the accessories. So he does come with, of course, the pistol. Also, he does come with a really nice jetpack, which is really cool. I will show you how you can put it on his back in just a second. And yeah, there is just a peg there, and we'll go into a port on the back. Before I do that, I can get a comparison with the Centurion drone jetpack, which is significantly bigger. Hard to tell on camera, but it is longer up and down. But about same detailing, pretty similar, really. I would say just a little bit bigger, a little chunkier. You know what I mean. But, yeah, very cool. On this one, there is 2 pegs. I think that's really just easier to, put on a character if you want it higher on the back or lower. This one only has 1, which I think is perfectly fine. But these both can have blaster pieces attached to them, so very nice. But let's just rotate Bumblebee around, and there is that port there, the peg, and that will just peg right into place. And if you wanted to, you could get the Centurion drone jetpack and put it on there too if you wanted to, either way. But I think that looks really cool. You can have them in a lot of really cool positions. There is a little port there where you can get a flight stand so you can be flying around, which looks really cool. And you can honestly barely even tell it's there if you just had it facing forward, but very nice. So we do have another accessory. There is 5 of them, but they're all exactly the same. We do have 5 Energon Rods. Let me just lower the camera so you can actually see them. So if you remember, this is in the a little callback to the first episode of the G1 show. Bumblebee was with Wheeljack, and they were stealing Energon Rods to help fuel the Ark, and here they are. I do like the throwback to the G1 show, just they don't really serve any purpose with this figure at all because he cannot hold them. You can have him kind of squeeze them in between his arm and the chest and really hold him between his armpit if you wanted to, but it is a huge hassle, and I won't be trying to do that in this review because it is such a pain and very annoying. I have not been able to get all 5. I've been able to get like 2 or 3, under the tuck of his armpit, but that's pretty much it. So, yeah, really. It is a nice accessory, just doesn't serve a lot of purpose because he can't actually hold him in his hand, which really, that would have been good if you could just like slide it through his hand and he could hold one in each hand if he wanted to, or maybe they could tab into his back or something like that, or they could attach to the jetpack on the side and it could serve as a jetpack and a, backpack for storage. But yeah, that's really it. You get 5. Yeah, just main thing is storage-wise and, you know, the overall practicality of it. That's the main problem. That's really it for accessories. They're all exactly the same. Again, I know a lot of people don't like them, but I think the weapon and the jetpack are very, very nice. Let's get in a comparison. So I'm just going to move the Energon Rods off to the side. And I thought I would bring in another Bumblebee. Here we have Transformers Netflix Bumblebee. Just thought I would kind of compare and show you the more G1, kind of another version of the G1 with the Volkswagen Bug, and another kind of version of the G1 from that one episode in the G1 show. But yeah, very, very nice. Kind of a darker orange, yellowish on there, brighter colors on the UFO Origin Bumblebee that we're looking at. And of course, the accessories are very, very different. But, yeah. And you can see that overall, like, the concept is quite similar with the head and the overall style. The arms are quite similar with the shoulders area there, if you can see that, but the rest is pretty different. And that's pretty much it for comparisons. So let's get into articulation. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the pistol off and get that off to the side so it does not get in the way. Same for the jetpack, just get that off to the side. So we're going to start at the top so the head can rotate all the way around. It can look up, look down, the arm can hinge all the way around, can hinge out, down, there is a swivel, and of course a past 90 bend. There is no swivel in the hand, there is this little movement here, but that's really for articulation, but if you want to count that, you can. There is a hinge here on this back piece, so if you want to hinge it out, if you want to do that, you can. I'm going to hinge that out just so I can access the legs and the waist articulation better. So you can rotate the waist all the way around, kick that far forward, that far back, and it can do a full splits. There is a knee bend and a swivel all the way around and an ankle tilt. A pretty good degree ankle tilt. So that's pretty much it for the robot mode. We're going to get into transformation. I do want to advise this section down here might come untabbed, and I do apologize for that. I've seen a lot of reviews for this figure, and everyone has that problem where these two little panels just come untabbed. You just pop them back on. It's not a big deal. So let's get right into it. So first, what you're going to want to do is just bring in the hands like that. You can open this little chest piece up, bring that overhead. You can go back here, hinge that section up. This will just go up and around the head. You want the head to, of course, go through, and there we go. You can go back here, and you're going to bring this little section forward. As you can see, that will just tab right into place. And you can kind of just leave that there for now. And now, you're going to hinge this in, and there is a slot, and there is a tab that will go right into place. But before you do that, you're going to want to rotate at the waist so that can sit nice and flush. Just like that. So just hinge that in. Just like that. Tab that together. And there you go. So now let's get to the legs, which, again, yeah, I really do wish these sections were tighter. I will try as hard as I can for them not to come untabbed, but I'm betting they will. Before you do that, you can collapse this section, kind of bring this all together, and really the front half is pretty much done, which looks amazing. So now we can bring these out, kind of unravel them on those hinges. You can bring this up by this hinge there, and it untabbed, just like that. And again, easy, you can just fix it, nothing big deal, not a big deal at all. And now, what you're going to want to do is get this little panel here, untab it, and then this foot, as you can see, will kind of just fit right in to this area. There's a tab, another tab there, that will just tab right into place, and there is one half of the back half of the UFO done. Did the same thing on the other side, just slowly hinge this up, unravel that. You're going to go to this side, untab this panel, bring that in, and bring this other panel out, and these just tab into place like that. So now you're just going to really put stuff together, just hinge this section in. That will just go under. And these might also come unpegged. It's a big problem with those. I really do wish those were tighter, but hopefully I can do it without them coming untabbed like that. And now what you can do is just fix everything together, just like that. And there, we almost have the full UFO. Just get this little piece, tab that back on, and tab that together, and there is the UFO. I think it looks really, really good. Overall, just amazing. The transformation is pretty good. I just, these little two back pieces do come untabbed a lot. I do apologize for that happening, but it's okay. Went pretty smoothly. So yeah, again, transformation's pretty easy. Just tightness of joints and things untabbing, but not too bad. But here it is, and I think it looks really, really good. I think this is a long overdue figure that really needed to be made. Probably back in Siege, maybe Earthrise. I know it wasn't made because it is kind of a specific oddball kind of mode and character. Not a very, noticeable one because it was only in one episode of that G1 show. But still, it just looks really, really cool to have this UFO finally. I actually did do a short on weapon storage for this, but if you didn't see it, I can just show you again in this video. It's a very simple little trick if you want to store your weapon a different way. And I'll show you that in just a second. But let's go a little bit more in depth and take a look at the details. So, of course, the base color again is yellow, and we do have that nice blue, very slick window there, nice Autobot symbol there. Some more silver for like the front of the UFO. Lots of pegs. You do have some hinges here and there, but overall, I think it looks like a really, really good. So yeah, not a ton of detailing, very simplistic, very nice, but just a really all-out, really good UFO. So let's get into storage-wise. So for the jetpack, there really is a very limited amount of areas you can really store it. There is these pegs on the side, but that's really only for the pistol. You could kind of get it on there, but the set way to store it is you put it on there like that. And that's pretty much it for the jetpack. So there is several areas where you can put the pistol. Of course, the main ways they tell you to put it is on these two ports right there on either side, like that. And that's pretty much it for weapon storage by the instructions. But I did come up with a little, trick of storing the weapon if you want it more covered up and hidden. But very, very nice. So now, a little secret way I found is you can go on the underside, and you can just get your nail, bring the hand out, and if you want it to be, similar on both sides, you can bring out both hands if you want to, or you can leave one of them in. You can just get the peg from the handle, and just slide it into his hand, and there, you can have it on the bottom. It does cause some unevenness. Of course, it is kind of leaning forward now, but if you want more of a dynamic pose for the UFO, you can do that. But if you want weapon storage, there's a place you can do if you want to. You can slide it in there a little bit more. Probably won't make a big difference, but still, that's an option if you want it. I think it looks pretty cool. Most likely, if I were to store this UFO on my display, if I had two of these, I probably would just store the UFO without anything on it. Just simple, no weapons, because I think it just looks really, really good. For the Energon Rods, there is no storage, which is a shame. I really do wish there was, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense, especially for these Energon Rods, because there's 5 of them. I guess they could have come up with some way to attach them on the bottom, like he could be carrying them, transporting them or something like that. I was thinking maybe, if they do continue the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line, they could make of course, Wheeljack to follow from that episode where he transforms into that Cybertronian truck, and he could put the Energon Rods in the back like they do in the show, which would be very, very cool. Some people are saying that they should have just done a 2-pack with this in the first place. They could have done this figure and the Wheeljack. Either way, doesn't matter. But that's pretty much it for all the features and stuff like that. Let's get into a comparison. So I really wasn't sure what to compare him with, because I already did compare him with Netflix Bumblebee, so I just kind of grabbed two random Warfare Cybertron figures and just thought, these are standard sizes for deluxes and commander class sizes, so I just thought, let's compare them. So here I have him with Battle Across Time, Earth Mode Sideswipe. I thought that was a good comparison because they are both considered deluxe class size figures, and I just wanted to show you how big the UFO is. Because it is an odd shape, of course, not some sort of car or, plane or anything. It is just kind of a circle. And yeah, I think it's a good size. This is a typical deluxe size figure. We have a lot of this mold of Sideswipe, so you can have a good idea of how big the UFO is. But yeah, I think, it's a good size. I think they look pretty good together. Both classic G1 characters. And yeah. Very, very nice. Let's get one more comparison, just that I would show you how much Rodimus Prime dwarfs this little UFO. I'll bring him out in just a second. So let me just move Sideswipe off to the side. And I will bring in Rodimus Prime, and I'll turn him around. There we go. So yeah, you can see the UFO definitely is just destroyed and dwarfed by the size of Rodimus Prime in his trailer. I don't think he'll be able to fit in the trailer because it is, of course, again, not long, really more just wide that way. It's round, so I don't think it'll be able to fit in there. But definitely, Sideswipe will be able to fit in there. I will review Kingdom Rodimus Prime soon. I have a lot of reviews to do, so I will try and get to it as fast as possible. But, yeah, let me just take Rodimus Prime off to the side. And we'll finish up with some final thoughts. So now for some final thoughts. I think overall Origin Bumblebee is a very, very good figure. It is a Target exclusive, so do be aware it will be kind of hard to find. Really just depends how well your targets are stocked. But I do highly suggest this figure. It's a unique figure. I do think this figure is definitely long overdue, and I think a lot of people do think that as well. I think the transformation is pretty smooth. The robot mode is really, really nice. Good articulation, good accessories. Again, just the practicality of the 5 Energon Rods is questioned because he cannot really hold them at all. He can't really store them at all, like on his back or attach them to the jetpack or anything. But I think the jetpack and the pistol are very nice. They can store very well and easily. UFO is just amazing. I keep all my Transformers in the robot mode, and this is actually one figure that I'm very close to considering to keeping in the UFO mode because it is just such a clean, classic, sleek UFO mode, and it looks really, really nice. And I think that's it, so I'll see you next time.